Good morning. So, yesterday it started raining, but I'm talking like proper rain, and didn't go on game drive in the morning. In the evening, it's morning now, and spent the afternoon at the deck, kind of chilling at the lodge. And then this morning, the arrangement was if it is still raining, we'll only meet at about half past 8 for breakfast, and then see if there's an opening in the clouds and we can go for a quick drive. But I just went down now to check, and there's nobody there, just in case. But it got me thinking, there's a very big argument to be made for if you stay at a lodge for a long time, to spend one morning and or one afternoon at the actual lodge and enjoying the changing from day to night, that crepuscular time with the sun setting or rising, you at the deck, dawn chorus and so on. It's pretty cool. Most lodges, if not all, have some kind of waterhole or river frontage or something, and that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I went down, just came back for a cup of coffee quickly, do this, and then back to the lodge I go. But I was thinking about small things yesterday. In my room here, 2 beds and a coffee machine, 1 bed, 2 bed coffee machine. I mentioned detail. So as a pilot or a guide's room, it's detail. So even at some lodges, they don't have dustbins next to the coffee machine. You got to look for the dustbin and often take your coffee pod or whatever it is and go find the bathroom dustbin, use that. But now these guys, the details at Jamala is pretty awesome. Since yesterday, I have Rusks in my room. That's pretty awesome. For those of you that don't know what a rusk is, it's almost like a biscotti, right? But you dunk it in your coffee, and it is quite delightful. I remember, if you haven't been following for a while, way back, I shared my mom's rusk recipe, and delightful. And it was cool to get pictures from all of you guys saying, "Oh, I've made this, and what can I replace that with?" That was awesome. But anyway, I took a bigger bite than I was planning to. I was listening yesterday. So with rain, I've got my group. We were sitting off to the one side going through images and stuff, and the other people at the lodge, three couples, met each other there. And it was interesting to me, kind of just listening to the conversation, because it's in the lodge building. We can hear everybody. How within the first half an hour of them starting to kind of talk, they were getting pretty deep and going to things like, what if I was supposed to be this, but something happened in my past that didn't make me realize that? And that treated me, I'm like, what? And it was interesting how deep these people went very quickly with total strangers. And how, and I don't mean forced in a bad way, how the conversation was almost forced in the direction of us as humans, and me as a human, and you as a human, and how we connect as humans, and our shared human experiences. And it was fascinating listening to this, and how people see and feel it. And I was wondering if, look, the odds of 6 people, even 4 people coming together and immediately having that same connection on a level where they understand themselves, awareness, self-awareness, and all that, is not very high. Possible, but unlikely. And these people weren't. And I was wondering if, did the pandemic put people dramatically more in touch, not only with themselves and how they think and feel and what they want, because that's a big one. I think a lot of people changed shit because of the pandemic in their life, relationships, work, whatever. But also the awareness of other people and how we feel about other people and how we think about other people, and more importantly, how we treat other people. I think some people have the emotional intelligence of a fucking rock, and they don't understand that their actions will have a reaction, whether good or bad, from someone else. It was really nice. And the ability that we all as humans have to influence other people. And I spoke about this at some stage. I can't remember if it was a podcast or one of these. Oh, it was my previous episode of my podcast, yeah. Is everything in life about how you make people feel. Everything. Whether someone's working for you, whether you're working for someone, whether you're going to a restaurant. My worst is someone who's rude to a waiter. I cannot fucking cope with that. I want to rip faces off when people are rude with waiters. They're just doing the job. Anyway, digressing. So this group of people were talking about kind of, I wonder what would have happened if I was meant or destined to be this, but something happened in my past that took me off the course. Will I find that again? And I was wondering if that conversation happened before COVID, if it would have been the same. If they would have been that in touch with their destiny, their fate, their mortality, their humanity, all of those things. And if I listen to the people I've been working with from a coaching point of view, which I started kind of November going into December, which is always a fucked up time. You have to be happy about Christmas. It's festive season. So we worked on a lot of that stuff. And there are a lot of shared emotions and feelings right now, which I think we all share because of this COVID pandemic thing. If you listen to episode 8 of my podcast, I speak to my therapist, Barry. And theoretically, the pandemic is an extinction level event. Now, even though we've got medicine and all those things, that's what it is. And our psyches kind of act against it. Not against it, yeah, against it. So we feel certain things. And the conversation I heard with these guests yesterday, I was wondering how many of them would have had that discussion before COVID. I know for me, a lot of shit's changed since COVID. It gave me time to think and to make changes and to do a whole bunch of other things, which I don't think I would have done if it was not. I would have just kept on going. So for everybody out there, if you're one of those people who are just bitching and negative about it, look, I'm not playing down how shitty COVID was. It was bad. Not only for people who lost their lives and loved ones and all of that, but just what it did to us mentally. And some people are still struggling. I think will struggle for a while because they are hiding behind their real feelings and emotions. The problem is, let's say someone is very analytical and I don't know, A-type, if you will. Boom. When we're in stress situations, you default to your strengths. It's what we do. And what if your strength right now is not what the world requires around you? Whether you're in a shop, whether you're talking to a waiter at a lodge, whatever. But that's the only thing you know. Vicious cycle happens because you act on your strength, which is not what the situation requires, but you're the only person who doesn't see it. And then you get a reaction, which you didn't expect, and you double down on your strength. And the reaction gets stronger, and you double down on your strength. But the strength is not, it's the right tool at the wrong time. It's the same thing. The right advice at the wrong time is bad advice. But this whole thing where people are suddenly very, and the group, I don't know them, but the people who I listen to have this conversation, they seem to be like from all walks of life. Businessmen, kind of, there's a musician, there's all different people, but it's interesting to me how there's this shared humanity thing between people, yet there are still others who don't seem to want to look at it, maybe, who doesn't want to go deep inside and think, fuck, I've got a lot of shit I want to deal with, but they don't want to do that. So you double down on your strengths and you just keep going. So yeah, I think, wow, how deep did we get on a Saturday morning here? I do think that if you can't take anything positive after this fuckfest, which was COVID, I think you need to sit down and have a better look, because I think there are positives to take from it. Personally, growth, clarity, perspective. Anyway, that's a lot of stuff. I am going to finish my rusk, and then I'm going to go to the lodge, have another coffee down there, and watch whatever sunrise there is between all the clouds. That's about enough from me. I'll see you. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye for now.